Hey guys, it's Sekaar, and today we're going to be going over my favorite StamSorc build so far for the Firesong chapter. I think that without a doubt, this is the best build so far. It has so much unbelievable dot pressure on it, and I honestly love it so much. I really felt like I was melting everybody in this. The only downside is because of StamSorc, the healing's a little rough, so we built a lot into that on this build, and I hope that you guys enjoy. Check out the build for yourself, guys. I really can't stress enough how wonderful this one feels compared to all the other ones. So guys, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Alright guys, let's get started. First things first, we're going to look at our character sheet. We want to be an Imperial on our StamSorc. Imperial gives us a reduced cost passive on all of your abilities, and Sorc always suffers from sustain. That way we use Dark Deal. So honestly, Imperial, in my opinion, is the best way to go. If you don't have Imperial, I think the best options outside of it are probably Orc or maybe even Khajiit. Our attributes are going to break down like this: 29 points into health, 35 points into stamina to give us a max magic pool of 15.1, max health pool of 31.4, and a max stam pool of 22.3. Our Mundus is going to be the warrior to increase our weapon damage. And we're also going to be using Orzorga Smoked Bear Haunch as our food in order to increase our max health by 4,300 and our stamina and magic recovery by 369. And then, as always, we're always also going to be Vampire Stage 3. That way we get the Undeath passive that you only get at Stage 3. This is going to give you, basically, when you're lower health, the more tanky you become. So it really helps you from being executed too much. Our gear is going to be this. We're not going to use a full monster set on this build, but we are going to use one-piece heavy Battle Orc in the reinforced trait. That way we get the extra little bit of weapon and spell damage. But we're also going to be using, as one of our 5 pieces, we're going to be using Dragon's Appetite, and our shoulders are going to be medium Divines. So what Dragon's Appetite does is it gives you a line of weapon and spell damage, 2 lines of stamina recovery, and then the 5 pieces increases your damage done to bleeding enemies by 217. Dealing non-bleed damage to bleeding enemies generates a persistent stack of Dragon's Appetite up to once per half a second, so every second you get basically 2 stacks. And then after 10 stacks, you consume Dragon's Appetite and you heal for 9,200 health. And I think that that is a crazy good heal to get so often in a fight. I love it, and it's basically proccing every 5 seconds as long as you're doing continuous damage. I genuinely can't stress enough how amazing this is. It is the closest alternative to Mara's this patch without actually using Mara's, and it's a craftable set too, so you get to customize the weight as well. So I really like that. Our chest piece is going to be a heavy chest piece of the Fire in the reinforced trait. This is going to be our front bar set on this build, and what Fire does is it gives you weapon and spell damage, gives you a line of max stamina, a line of crit chance, and then when you deal damage with a weapon, you deal an additional 3,263 flame damage, but when I'm fully buffed up on this build, it's a little over 4k. And then this effect can occur once every 2 seconds, which 2 seconds is a crazy low cooldown, and I love that so much. So on this build, we're going to be using Rending Slash, and Rending, actually, the dot on it procs Way of Fire. I've done all the testing, so if you just hit Rending and leave it alone, your Way of the Fire will proc a bunch. So honestly, it is so much free pressure to have at all times just by using one skill. I love it so much. And then our belt is going to be a medium Dragon's Appetite in Impen. Our hands are going to be medium Dragon's Appetite in Impen as well. Our legs are going to be heavy Dragon's Appetite in Reinforced. And our feet are going to be in medium Dragon's Appetite in Impen. Our jewelry is going to be a Necklace of the Fire in an infused trait with a weapon damage glyph on it. Our mythic on this build is going to be Pale Order in the Bloodthirsty trait with a weapon damage glyph on it. The reason why we're using Pale Order is because the healing on this is a little low, so we have to build into that a lot since StamSorc doesn't have a burst heal. So we're using Pale Order because it restores 20% of the damage that you deal as health, and the value is decreased by 4% per ally in your group with. But honestly, that's completely fine. Pale Order is honestly amazing on this build, especially if you want to do a solo build. You get so much extra healing because of this. If you're just going offensive and just laying your dots down, you're just getting so much free healing. I love it. And then our other ring is going to be a Ring of the Fire in the infused trait with a weapon damage glyph on it. Then our front bar is going to be dual-wield maces of the fire. Our main hand is going to be Nirnhoned with a disease enchant on it. And our offhand is going to be charged with a poison enchantment on it. Then our back bar finally is going to be a Vatishron Perfected Ice Staff in the defending trait with a increased weapon and spell damage glyph on it. So the reason why we're doing this is because you put a tether between you and your enemies after casting weakness to elements, and it does damage to them every second. And you're doing so much damage with just that alone. And then that skill also, spoiler alert, we'll get there. We'll get to the skills right after this, but still, you're going to be putting major breach on your enemy. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. Onto our skills. Our main spammable is going to be Blood Craze. This is another way we can increase our healing a little bit. So basically you hit an enemy and you're going to be doing some bleed damage to them, and then also it's going to be giving them a 20-second dot, which that dot as well as that initial hit is going to proc your Wave the Fire. So it's both the damage of Blood Craze and that set at the same time, and honestly it is phenomenal to use that. You get so much healing out of it, but also so much damage as well. And I really can't stress enough how much I like that. Camo Hunter is going to be your second ability. This is basically the only reason why you use this is for the Major Savagery to increase your weapon and spell crit by 2,600. And also you can, bring out Stealth Nightblades too, so that's good too, but mostly it's about that crit. And then Crystal Weapon, if you combo this with all of your abilities, combo Crystal Weapon with Rending, combo with your other abilities, honestly, you're going to be doing so much damage, and it is a great way to combo your abilities so that you're hitting really hard, and that your spammable is really just bringing people to half health so quickly. And then Streak, this is basically going to be your way to get out of like a dicey situation, or it also CCs your enemies as well. So, combo that as you can. I really like to hit them with the dot them up completely and then streak them, and then I don't know, we'll just see what happens from there. Probably a little spam, maybe a little bit of another rending, but they're taking so much pressure at that point, and being able to CC them after they're dotted up, you're just applying so much damage to them and so much pressure. And then Whirling Blades, this is going to be your execute on this build. So when an enemy is at low health, you just activate this and they're going to be taking a lot of pressure. And then also on top of that, this goes through roll dodge as well. So those pesky people that are just roll dodging constantly, this is going to really help you increase your damage on them. And then finally, Dawnbreaker of Smiting. I love this ult, but I hate this ult. I miss this thing so often. But honestly, it feels really good to use this as a way to get that extra little bit of burst damage after you've dotted your enemy up, and I really do like it. And then back bar, we're going to be using Crit Surge. This is going to be your source of major brutality and sorcery, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 20%. And then also, while active, dealing critical damage heals you for 3,696, and that can occur once every second. So having a crit high is very important. Hurricane, this is going to be your source of major resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 6k. It also gives you minor expedition, so you're going to be a little bit faster. It's going to increase your movement speed by 15%. Then also, you're going to be doing damage around you every 2 seconds for 20 seconds. So that is huge in my opinion. And then Resolving Vigor, this is going to be your main heal over time. It's going to be a nice 5-second heal that really helps you out so much. And then on top of that, you're also gaining Minor Resolve, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 3k. Dark Deal, this is going to be a way to transition your magic into health and stamina. This is going to be the best source of a burst heal that you can get, if you want to call it that. Really, but it could also be interrupted as well, so it's dangerous to just use this out in the open and just be using this in the middle of a fight. Try and get into the habit of right after you get CC'd, kind of streak away for a second and then use this. It can't be interrupted after you get CC'd, so it is the best way to just get your health back. And then Ellie Susceptibility, this is going to be your Vatishron staff. And then on top of that, it's going to give you Major Breach. That's going to reduce your enemy's physical and spell resistance by 6k. And then also, every 6 seconds while this ability persists, the enemy is afflicted with the Burning, Chilled, and Concussion status effect. So you're just dotting them up with so many status effects. It is beautiful to see. And then our backbar ultimate is going to be Summon Charged Atronach. A lot of people are like, hey, why are you using this ability? But I can't stress enough how nice this feels. it gives you so much AoE pressure, and honestly, on top of that, it also gives you a lot of area to see oh my god, I can't even use the word, to kite around. So say you're in an open field and you need to kite around something fast, you drop this charge atro and it helps you out so much. People start targeting it, it's amazing. But honestly, really don't sleep on the damage on this either. I really do enjoy it, and I really do vouch for it. And finally, our champion points. Our blue slottables are going to be Focus Mending, Thaumaturge, Master at Arms, and Deadly Aim. Our red slottables are Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Survival Instincts, and Celerity. And our green slottables are Rationer, Liquid Efficiency, Gifted Rider, and War Mount. But most importantly, make sure you have your Breakfall passive. But guys, that is the entire build. I honestly love this one so much. I really thought that this was the best StamSorc build that I've come out with this patch, and it is honestly a blast to use. It's so much fun. I definitely recommend trying this out for yourself. Let me know how you guys like it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, please do so. It is free, and it's the best form of support that you could show me. So guys, without further ado, let's, what am I saying right there? Let's just end the video right there. What am I saying? Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Later.